What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gab Lim, and Mr. Maui Yap, wearing the maroon shirt. Pero, Gab, today was supposed to be a special episode talking about the big matchup between the UAAP finalists, UP versus Lasal, and Gilas' second game against Australia naman this time after talking about New Zealand. But both games were blowouts. So, anong blowout ang una mong gusto pag-usapan today, Gab?
Let's start with UP versus LaSalle. I mean, I think that will be pretty short. It was a blowout. But Sammy, to celebrate our return to watching UAAP basketball and talking about UAAP basketball and to celebrate our return to watching Filoil, I do want to say sa ABC sigurado ka. Pulido ang trabaho, di ka papalya.
Come on, ABC tile adhesives. You gotta give my boy here a contract.
There is no way you could watch Filoil on live stream and not come away having that
Singing,
song stuck in your head. It's still stuck in my
LSS,
head.
no?
Diba? Every time it plays, you're like, ABC sigurado. Kudos to the guy who wrote that song. It
Yeah, he
amazing.
cooked. He cooked on that commercial. Sige. Quick recap or reactions to this game. I don't think any of us expected a blowout. UP versus Lasal.
We
Yung
did not.
Philippines versus Australia, probably, I think we talked about it. Sabi natin, magwawala tayo kung manalo Philippines. But this one, UP versus Lasal, I don't think any of us expected a blowout. Gab, quick reactions or recap of the game.
Just size matters, not just in life and in the bedroom, but also but also in basketball. Size matters. Just UP dominated inside the paint. That was all. That was all there is to it. The size difference was just too much for LaSalle to handle. Even in the third quarter, when they went to a zone, Remogat was smart enough to repeatedly find Gani Stevens lurking behind that LaSalle zone, just capitalizing on the lack of size of the DLSU Green Archers. And yeah, I don't know, man. After the siguro halfway point ng third quarter, lumipat na ako sa Gilas versus Australia. I didn't bother anymore with whatever was going on with LaSalle versus UP. So I don't know what other stuff went on. Siguro, alam mo ng blowout, pag si Sean Alter na yung nagdo-dominate eh. alam mo na eh. Yun yung sign na blowout na ang isang UP game pang si Sean Alter yung nagdo-dominate and hitting mid-rangers off the glass from near the free throw line. I think that was a sign that I had to go to the other game already. Gilas versus Australia. It was actually tough start for LaSalle. I think they had 4 turnovers, 3 of those from Jacob Cortez. And UP just kept on pushing in transition, getting it into the paint, grabbing offensive rebound. I think it was a 28-12 paint point advantage at the end of the first half. It was a 29-18 rebound advantage for the UP Fighting Maroons. Total, they ended up with 50 compared to LaSalle's 33. Just LaSalle had no one to get rebounds, to grab defensive rebounds. They were trying to gang rebound. In fact, kudos to Jacob Cortez for grabbing nine himself. He led the team in rebound. I think that tells you all you need to know. Gani Stevens, Alter, Noruka especially, they were just dominant in the paint. LaSalle had no rim protection, so every time that UP would enter the paint, it was either a foul or a bucket or an drop off for a wide open close range shot. Just mahirap. This is life without Mike Phillips and a life without a decent FSA. I'm not sure if Mandirio was in the lineup for this game. I didn't see him on the bench, but if he was, this is a very telling sign of what Coach Topex thinks of him because they desperately needed size and they still would not play him. Um, Seven Gagate had nothing against the UP front line. Lu- Luis Pablo was bothered all night yung by the length of Stevens and Noruka. And ganoon eh. Actually, Lasal had opportunities in the first half, especially when they would penetrate, find find cutters, try to get close range shots, but disturbed. Ang hirap there's so much length on that UP front line that they were not getting any quality shots off. They were missing layups. They were missing close range shots. Their threes were not falling. If you're gonna play this small, and La Salle played small for the entire preseason, they have to rely a lot on 3-point shooting, and they were not hitting their threes. And UP knows that they were going for threes, so that's why they pressured a lot on the perimeter. They were making it difficult to come off those dribble handoffs and screens just to get wide open threes. So um, they know Coach Topex will, if LaSalle is gonna play this way for heading into the season against the UP Fighting Maroons, they have to be more creative in trying to get their open threes. Because alam na yung mga dribble handoff action, yung mga zoom actions na ginagawa ni Coach Topex, medyo alam na yung ng UP kung paano i-defend. I think Adamson plays a similar style, yung a similar style. So yeah, tough day at the office for the De La Salle Green Archers. I'm sure they would head into practice and try to counter the size that yung that the UP Fighting Maroons were putting on them. Total masterclass in the paint. Wala eh. Outmatched.
Maui, is it time to hit the panic button sa missing FSA or big man ng Lasal? At this stage, it's already July.
Yeah, I think so. Kasi that has been the whole discussion naman the whole off season for Lasal. And getting out rebounded 50 to 33. Jacob Cortez needing to get 9 rebounds for them to get to 33 rebounds, I think is all you need to know why UP dominated this game. I thought that UP was pretty good also dun sa on-ball pressure, forcing Jacob Cortez to really work for his 20 points, getting 8 turnovers in the process. I think si Poyos even stole the ball at the backcourt twice that led to an easy layup.
Si Tovera ata yun.
Tovera.
Si Tovera.
So, just a masterclass on both ends of the floor for the UP Fighting Maroons. If Lasal now knows what it feels like to be out-rebounded, this is what a lot of the UAAP teams felt when they had Mike Phillips dominating on the glass, getting you numerous second chance points. It doesn't matter if you hit a lot of your shots, which they weren't in this game. If the other team gets 2 times, 3 times more second chance points, more often than not, that would lead to a loss. That's just the brutal case about basketball. You need size or you need gang rebounding. You cannot be out rebounded like this. You cannot give so many easy paint buckets. As Jacob Cortez really had to work for his 20 points. Talagang pilit na pilit yung 20 points. He's probably so tired despite the blowout. And yet, UP was so dominant on the inside that Sean Alter had a great game. Francis Noruka had a great game. Even si Gani Stevens was feasting noong third quarter when Lasal was trying to mount a comeback. I think Lasal has a very big problem right now. They just not only lost Mike Phillips, but now they're also losing a backup big outside an FSA who's capable. So little time. I think we've talked about this on air. We've seen some pages, diba, the agents recruiting FSAs. for the UAP, and I think Lasal is the one that's probably fielding some offers to try to get FSAs, because I don't know if there's a big man, a local big man that they can get quickly. I don't think Pablo and Amos are enough to be front court players. Remember, si Amos does not even want to play front court minutes. He does not want to hang in the paint all the time. Diba? That's why he left Ateneo. He wants to convert to a wing. He wants to be an outside player. Even si LeBron James Daep, I don't think they envisioned to become their starting or a player that plays big minutes at the 5 slot. I think when they recruited them, they wanted them to convert to the 3 or to continue to play his natural position, which is the 4. So yeah, I think definitely. I mean, there are only a few months remaining to the UAP season. Barely, I think, 3 months to go. You need a big man. You need to get a big man also into the rotation, diba? In to go to build chemistry with that big man who will, I think, without a doubt, play big minutes. We haven't gotten any updates from Henry Agunane. I don't know if he will be ready for this coming season. So yeah, definitely, Lasal has to scour the earth and look for an FSA, because they cannot. I don't think they can be champions if it's only Pablo and Amos becoming playing the front court minutes.
And Gagate, I guess, is your third string big man.
He
Yeah.
started nga, Sam.
Yeah, actually, si Amos ata off the bench, tama ba? I'm checking the box
They
score,
put
hindi ko napanood yung
Mason
start.
off the bench.
I guess wala silang choice kasi he's their best big man. Yeah, on UP side, Maui, ikaw naman muna. Anything that stood out for you or that came as a surprise for you? Player, rotation, plays, whatever.
Chico Briones was shooting the lights out. Every time he caught the ball, he shot the 3.
He had
I
the
think
green
there was-
light, no?
Green light for days. I think when he entered, he shot 4 threes agad and hit 2 of them. I think the 2 first went in. So very good sign if you're Chico Briones, diba? Because UP has a lot of big men. UP has a lot of point guards who can create, guards who can get to the paint, but not a lot of shooters, which is where I think he can carve out a role finally this season. If he can hit his outside shot consistently, I think si Chico Briones could be in for a lot of more minutes. And this is a good showing against the Sun. I think he had 17 points, if I'm not mistaken. Si VJ Pre, again, since we called him out on this podcast, he's been fantastic. I think he's finally realized how to get his buckets, how to get his points, how to mix and match, not having the ball in his hands and being a slasher. I thought that he was very impressive, especially in transition. I think UP will definitely enjoy having BJ Pre run the break, get some easy baskets on mismatches.
Chico Briones is scoring 14 points, 3 of 6 from 3, 50% shooting. But yeah, I did not get to watch this entire game, pero the minute I turned it on, it was like 3 straight Chico Briones,
Who would watch this
3-point.
entire game?
That's a good point. That's a good point. People at Filoil Arena, actually hindi, baka umuwi na sila kasi maulan di ba?
Hey,
On a Monday.
they were showing
On a Monday
they were
work
showing the people in the crowd. Some were just on their phones na lang nung fourth quarter. Like,
Hindi na nanonood, inaabangan na
lang
yung Alex
tapak
Iala.
Boring eh.
Gab, anything that stood out from UP? I guess.
Yeah,
Or
I think we have
Lasal,
to talk
before we move
I think we have to talk about the point guard position for season 90, not for season 89, because I know it's going to be dominated by Remogat. But they have Poyos. They showcased Tovera, who was playing for I think the Gilas under 18 or under 19 team. So he's finally suited up in a UP Fighting Maroon jersey, and I think it was okay. He showed some flashes. As Maui mentioned, you got a steal off Jacob Cortez. He's gonna be in the mix for starting point guard for season 90, along with a certain player from Canada who previously played with LaSalle this preseason and is now playing and is now committed to the UP Fighting Maroons. Si Irish Kokya.
Kokya.
So he's gonna be in the mix as well for that starting point guard. So I'm not confident in RV Poyos locking down that starting point guard slot, despite him being the primary backup for this season, for this upcoming season to Noire Mogat. So that's gonna be something to watch for season 90. Who will be the main point guard? Because I don't think Coach Gold will. Well, I'm not well. He did do it with Felicilda and Kagulangan, but I'm not sure if Coach Gold would go back to that. I mean, I think he'd want a solid starter that he would give big minutes to, someone he'll have confidence in. I like what I saw from Tavera in his limited minutes. Kokya was impressive in his few games with LaSalle. So I'm not. So maybe that's what convinced UP to try to get him into their team. But it's something to watch. Who knows if there are other guards on the horizon for the UP Fighting Maroons that they will recruit. I mean, they do recruit a lot. They don't stop recruiting. So
Meron na, di ba? From Ateneo High.
he's not a point guard now. He's more of a wing. Si Ethan. Yeah. So and it's, I'm not sure if he can play point guard. I mean, I didn't see him play point guard at all in the boys division. So we'll see. Other than that, watching Noruka, I am convinced that he should be the FSA for majority of the games. I'm sorry, Deontay Miles. Noruka is just better. I mean, Noruka was their best / second best player in the finals last season. I would be insanely shocked if for majority of season 89 it's going to be Deontay Miles. Noruka's just better. His athleticism, his defense, his timing on blocks is just way better than Deontay Miles. Deontay Miles might be the more experienced and mature player, but the one with more upside, the one who can give UP that defensive presence, is Francis Noruka.
And he's a pretty decent free throw shooter, si Noruka, naalala ko. Which you love from your big man. Any other points from this blowout? Before we move on to another blowout. Random notes.
I wanted another Boris Marasigan technical foul or ejection kasi no fourth quarter he was starting to mix it up eh. Yung kahit na blowout parang close game eh. Yung pagtrato ni Boris Marasigan, he was bumping and Nico, he was trash talking siguro, pero classic Boris. I love it. Down 30 points, I'm still talking trash. You know,
ginagano pa niya ng defense si Baila. Nagulat ako, down
diba?
30.
Diba? Yung
I love it.
Confidence. I want that confidence. Diba? If there's a player na gusto ko na manahin yung confidence, si Boris Manasigan. Down 30, which game pa rin. Trash talk pa din. Mind games pa din. Ibang klase. Other than that, nothing much, man. This was a snoozer. Again, halfway through the third quarter, lumipat na ako sa kabilang game. I was doing 2 screens at a time, by the way. So, for one of the few times that I've done double screens to watch 2 games, ang hirap. Sobrang hirap. Like, your eyes are shifting from one screen to another and
masakit ba leg mo?
Grabe.
Mata mo.
Parang tennis lang yan, Gab. Pag tennis, diba ganyan? Ganun ka manood.
I don't really watch some tennis, but si Maui, you might know more.
Before we end, is LaSalle still a top 2 team in the UAAP?
Yes, I do think they still are. I think this was just a bad game. And UP game plan definitely for this to target the paint, to target their LaSalle's lack of size. And I don't think LaSalle will shoot this badly from game to game. We've seen them now for the entire preseason, and when their shot is going and when they're able to penetrate, I think they're still a force to be reckoned with. Uh, I would count this as a one-off. I wouldn't count. This is just. I wouldn't say this is an encapsulation of how they've been playing for the entire preseason. Because for the most part, they've been good. They've been really good. In fact, they've been the comeback kings of the fourth quarter. How many times have they had a game-winning shot because they came back from the fourth quarter just shooting insane from the outside. So,
Second chance ng UP.
no. Diba? So, I would say they're still 1/2. Definitely UP has the edge now with this statement win. But I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, they meet in the semifinals or finals of Filoil and in any other tournament that they could beat UP. I mean, we've seen it already. We saw it already in this off season. So yeah, I still think they're pretty good. They're still a contender.
Maui, do you agree? Or
For
are you
sure.
taking the field?
For sure. Ano pa rin, but I think UP is number 1 right now. But for sure, LaSalle is still a championship contender. There's still time, diba, to fix. I think very apparent naman what their problem is. With regards to the other positions, they have enough. They just need to get 1 or 2 decent big men to really complete the puzzle. But yeah, I agree with Gab. Who knows? Baka sa semis ng Filoil, I wouldn't be surprised if LaSalle upsets UP. Maybe after this statement win by UP.
Nawala ata si Maui. Okay. Moving on. Ayan, Maui. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was saying maybe after this statement win by UP fans will not say that they are underdogs because they look like the really favorites for this season. I think NU is probably the second team that's looked very dangerous this off season. But when it comes to LaSalle and UP, I think UP has the edge just because of the players that they currently have. But definitely LaSalle still number 2. Diba? Just more vulnerable, I think, definitely than the other seasons where very clear naman that it will be UP versus LaSalle.
May opening this season 89, but still UP
Sana
and
naman,
LaSalle.
ayoko na mag-UP LaSalle part 4. Ewan ko.
Comment down below. Anong gusto nyo? UP LaSalle part 4 or something else? A different matchup? Comment down below.
For me, it ends in a trilogy. Anything ends just 3 parts. Trilogy. Kahit movies. Diba?
Paglampas 3 na, pangit na, no? Parang Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. Fast 5 was great. Don't discredit Fast 5.
I stopped at like
the
second.
Toy Story, it ended at 3 for me. 4 and 5, I haven't watched 5. I heard it was
Maganda
good.
daw. Maganda daw yung 5.
Yeah, but it stopped at 3.
Yeah.
To be honest, like Lord of the Rings.
Naiyak kayo, no?
Oh, diba? It was the best ending. Lord of the Rings. There's a reason why it was 3 because you get the 4th Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, I don't think that would be any good because I think it
Harry Potter daw.
Harry Potter.
8.
Okay, fine.
Stretch pa to 8 eh, no?
Stretch pa to 8 eh. For me, it's a trilogy. So I hope we get some different flavor for the upcoming season.
Okay. Ayun, may nag-comment. Toy Story 5 daw, Gab. Maganda daw. So, si RC Mercado. Toy Story 5. Okay. fine. Um. Anyway, speaking of missing big man for Lasal, they could have probably used Mike Phillips, who played for Gilas in today's game once again, Gilas versus Australia, but it was also a blowout. Probably the only um good thing that that came out from that game was like Mike Phillips getting a bunch of rebounds, having some classic Mike Phillips play. Although na-injure siya in the end. Gab, take us through this Gilas versus Australia game. Was it what you expected or worse? By the way, Justin Brownlee did not play. He was injured after all.
It was exactly as I expected. Um, I think Tim Cohn had a great encapsulation of the game.
Ano
We
sabi
played
niya?
good for we played good for one quarter, which was the second quarter. The rest we
The
did
only
not.
quarter they won. Yeah.
Yeah, which they didn't capitalize on Australia's cold shooting. I think Australia scored only 8 points in that second quarter. They Gilas could have made a run at that point, but Team B ba talaga yan ng Australia? No, I think it's even their Team C. Hindi nga ata Team B yan yun ng Australia. Third team na ata nila yan eh.
Team C.
Yeah, well scouted ang Gilas. I think if you were Australia, you looked at the New Zealand game and you saw how much they struggled ng how much they struggled against ball pressure. Na wala silang press break. Diba? New Zealand was in a full court press for the most part. Gilas struggled with it. And right out of the gate, Australia put them in a press. Wala na. Gilas could not recover. I think they had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. They were just not taking care of the ball. Australia's on-ball defense, on-ball physical defense was incredibly amazing. They were not allowing Gilas to go into their sets. And they were just rushing shots at the end of the shot clock. They were forcing threes, contested threes, a lot of them. They weren't getting any fast break baskets because they were trying to slow the game down. I don't know. Offensive rebounding again was one of our weak points. We were giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, and we were just, instead of the second quarter where we actually played some decent defense, for the rest of the game we were just getting manhandled. Malayo talaga ang quality ng Australia, and as I said, this is their third team, Team C. Not even Team B. Team B, usually yan yung mga siguro mga fringe NBA players, yung wala pa yung mga star NBA players. But these guys weren't even the Div 1 guys from MOA like a few months ago. Diba? The guys who played at MOA a few months ago all had Division 1 college experience. A lot of these guys are really young. We have one CBC, Bryce Cotton, who's pretty old already despite being yung naturalized point guard, was apparently a 6-time NBL MVP. And actually, I agree with Johnny Sky. Gilas looked like amateurs compared to Australia. They just did. They faltered under pressure. They did not know how to beat their men. Yung mga bantay nila, wala eh. Walang juice. Si Mike Phillips lang may juice to grab rebounds. And for the most part of that second quarter, yun nagka-moment si Junmar Fajardo. Just making it difficult for him to be boxed out and grabbing fouls and putting Australia in the penalty, and that's how we got a little bit closer. We won the second quarter, but only by 5 points. But yeah, we were just not able to generate enough offense talaga. I mean, we scored only 49 points. That just tells you all you need to know. We could not get into our sets. Uh, they know all of the actions that we're running already. I think they've seen it multiple games already, and they know you want to deny, diba? Well, wala eh. And also, another problem of the ball pressure, they know that we only have two ball handlers at any one point in the game. There are only two guys who can handle the ball, and that's what contributed to the amount of turnovers that we had. It was either si Dwight Ramos with one GDL or si Chris Newsom, and I think Maui yung pointed this out. Our small forward or our three is either what's si KQ or si Carl Tamayo. They are not ball handlers. They can't bring the ball up. Not against that amount of pressure. So that's a problem. I'm sure the next teams are gonna watch this Australia game. I'm talking about Iran, Jordan, Syria, our next matchups. They're gonna watch this game and they're gonna see we just have to pressure their two ball handlers. Just not allow them get in, not allow Gilas to get into their sets, not allow easy entry passes which Gilas likes, and just gang rebound and get offensive rebounds. Wala. Even si Mike Phillips was being pushed around for majority of this game. Si Junmar was trying to outmuscle si Condon and he couldn't even move him. So we look like boys, to be honest, compared to Australia. We were just getting manhandled and we weren't hitting our threes because yun nga, the ball pressure was there all throughout the game. We couldn't break down their defense. Australia's defense was not collapsing for majority of this game, so nearly everyone just stayed home on shooters. KQ started out hot with 2 threes, but he never got any airspace to get off his threes again. Just it's disappointing. Yung record natin is I think 2-4, so it's gonna be pretty difficult to actually qualify for the World Cup. They will have to win majority, if not all, of their games in the next round, and that's a tough task, especially Iran and Jordan. They're both 5-1 and they're playing really well. Tough spot for Gilas. Our World Cup dreams are maybe coming to a close. Maybe we should just host it again para makapasok tayo sa next World Cup. Yeah.
Ganun na lang lagi.
Wala, yung tough spot. That loss to New Zealand was pretty hurtful for us because our chances are pretty slim.
Maui, anything positive to take out of this game against Australia?
Ang hirap naman ng tanong na yun. How can you look positive? I think si Mike Phillips lang was the only bright spot, to be honest, on this game. We saw how effective he could be, even in these types of situations where we're getting bullied left and right. I think yung effort niya is gonna get him spots in Gilas in the future. You always want an energy guy off the bench, and I think si Mike Phillips provided that. I hope he's healthy. I hope minor lang yung injury. I hope it was because of the blowout. But yeah, very little to be positive about from this game. I think the worst thing that happened nung game natin against New Zealand was that they exposed our backcourt. That they exposed us by pressure defense, di ba? Going full court press. I think Australia did an even better job denying us of getting into our actions. We did not have Brownlee. We did not have a guy to save us. There were so many possessions that there was nothing going on. Parang single digits na lang yung shot clock, and we really didn't know what to do. That's why you see Dwight Ramos shooting 16 shots, which is very uncommon. When we see Dwight shoot a lot of shots, it's usually forced. Because he's the last resort.
Diba? I think
Daming
he
pilit.
has 3 forced threes.
I think si Tamayo even had some na that don't even hit the ring. Very tough for us to get any positives from this. As Gab mentioned, this is probably Australia's C team. And I think if there's something to take away from this game, I think Gilas has to really expand the pool. Kasi if a team like Australia can expand their pool to 42 players or even more, 50 players, why can't we do it? Diba? Why can't
Yep.
we expand the pool and include more younger, a mix of young and old guns, diba? To really bolster yung chemistry and I think yung brotherhood of Gilas. We cannot, diba? This is crazy, diba? When Brownlee is out, we don't even have a replacement. I think they already knew even before the New Zealand game that Brownlee was probably not 100%. Diba? Maybe that's one of the main reasons why si Coach Tim did not even start him no New Zealand game. So,
Good
uh,
point.
very disappointing for me this game. I mean, I expected them to be blown to be probably not win this game, probably lose by 10 to 20 points, but getting blown out like this is crazy. I don't know if meron ding fatigue kasi from the New Zealand game which went into double overtime. 'Di ba? So, and it's not just physical exhaustion, it's mental exhaustion because we should have won that game multiple times. So maybe Gilas, the players from Team Philippines just did not have it today. We really lack the energy today, but I think we need to add a lot more shooting and a lot more ball handling. I'm not sure if si Baltazar is still a viable player when it comes to Gilas. I read the comment actually online. We should have been seeing Tamayo, Kiambao, and Baltazar. All three of them really popping off in this window. But because Baltazar decided to prioritize MPBL instead of playing in B League or in KBL, I think this is it. Maybe he has peaked. I'm not sure if Baltazar is still has the potential to be converted into a wing, which I think he has to be if he will play for the national team. I think we need to add more ball handlers, definitely, for the next window. But yeah, I thought that si RJ and Juan really struggled. Heavily scouted from the previous game. I thought that both of them had pretty good games against New Zealand. A lot of people were saying, bakit si RJ nilalaro? RJ had 10 assists last game. He was getting us into our action. He was finding open men. I think both baskets si Justin Brownlee came off passes by RJ Barrientos. But yeah, a lot of adjustments. Hopefully we have a bigger pool so we can also make adjustments from team to team. Diba? Kasi if we only have 12 players for every window, this is how it's gonna be. We're gonna be heavily scouted. They will know that Kiambao is our best 3-point shooter. They will know that they will know the strengths of RJ Barrientos. They will know how to limit Juan Gomez Villamo. Diba? Si Brownlee, our best player, diba? Had two of his worst games in a Gilas uniform against New Zealand. That's because they already know what we want to do, how to get Justin Brownlee going. So again, if there's a window that proves that we should have a bigger pool and we should expand to younger players, I think this is that window. I think if we can get anything positive from these two losses, it's that we can trust the players that play abroad. Tama na yung politics in Philippine basketball, please. We want the best players available for us. We keep on blaming Kai Soto, di ba? We cannot keep on relying on only Kai Soto. We have so many players playing international ball that I think are capable of playing in Gilas. So hopefully they continue to be more open-minded after this window. I think that's the only positive I can get from these two losses.
That's I agree actually. So I think you mentioned two things that I wanted to mention. Number one, siguro the positive is like the young guys get to experience this more. I think that was one of the things that people have been clamoring for in the previous FIBA windows. I think in these two games, guys like Tamayo KQ, RJ, Mike got the most minutes they've ever played. Well, see, Mike just joined. So I think that's the positive there. Hopefully, this continues even if we get a healthier team in the next window. The second one, maganda yung sinabi mo because I think it was also mentioned during the broadcast. Maybe we can learn something from the Australian team here where they field different players kasi this looks totally different from the previous teams that they've fielded in the recent window. So I think they mentioned it during the broadcast. In the last three windows, Australia has fielded 27 players versus Gilas' 17. So yun yung different. So I think,
There you
hey,
go.
maybe we
He's a
should
top
try that.
20 in the world.
We should try that. So I think that's one of the things that I took away from this game also. Sorry, Gab, are you going to say something?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I do have some random notes.
Yeah, so yon and then the I think like the need at the point guard hopefully it gets addressed, but I guess people have talked about that, diba? Sino ba ilalagay natin, ganyan. So, I think that's something that Coach Tim needs to look into. To be fair to Coach Tim, before talagang 100%, I will just field these 12 players. He's added a couple of players already out of necessity because of injuries. Hopefully, he will continue to be open to adding more players. Yun lang naman yung gusto ko i-end. Gab, any additional notes?
No, they no. Um, Someone commented on our last episode that they wanted sina AJ Edu, sina Mike Phillips to play more power forward. I think for size reasons. I get it. Tim Cone did it here. He played with two bigs for a lot of this game. Diba? They started off with AJ Edu and Mike Phillips.
Yep.
Sometimes they played Junmar with Mike or Junmar with AJ. I think he saw the last game and saw how much uh, we lost the rebounding battle. So I think he wanted to address that here. The problem is those bigs cannot shoot. And if you look at our offense, one of the reasons why it was so difficult for our guards and for everyone else to get their shots off, because the two bigs with them were just clogging up the lane. Mike Phillips had to launch a three for one possession because it was kicked out to him. It was kicked out to him because that's where the play went, and he's not a shooter, so he had to chuck it up there. And we all know he can't shoot. So yeah, that's a conundrum that I think that it's very difficult to address. Yes, you have to get bigger to address the rebounding difficulties, but that comes in sacrificing to that comes with sacrificing your spacing at the other end of the floor. So how are you gonna blend that? Typically, it should be a stretch big who can actually rebound and play good defense, but Carl Tamayo is just not that. He always gets pushed around. He can't rebound really well, and as we all know, he has his defensive limitations. So I
Mason Amos? According
um
to Collins, ako eh.
b- probably, but I don't know. He's never played
Yeah,
when Tim Cone's the one coaching. So I
true.
don't think Tim Cone hindi nga siya hindi na nga siya sinama sa lineup yung after that eh. So I'm not sure if Tim Cone really wants Mason to be there. But yeah, the shooting would definitely help. Hindi ko lang alam how it will fare defensively, but the shooting will definitely help. Uh, this is a problem. I get the logic in starting Mike Phillips alongside AJ Edu, but again, the offense will run into problems. And in this day and age in basketball, you have two non-shooters on the floor. Actually, two players who don't even look to shoot it. Is gonna be a problem. I understand uh I understand that we have a lot of young bigs, and I think we talked about this in one of our previous Gilas episodes about when I think when si Q when Mike Phillips got naturalized, sabi natin, wow, ang dami na natin biglang malalaki. Pero one of my points was that QMB, AJ, and Mike Phillips, they play similarly. They're all bigs
True.
who have no or limited offense and cannot shoot. So how are you gonna play those three together? You're gonna need. I know we don't want to rely on Kai, but Kai is someone who can stretch the floor. Uh, I'm I'm not sure if we want a big as our naturalized player, someone who can play power forward and stretch the floor. But yeah, pretty difficult spot of Coach Tim Cone to figure that one out. If only si Carl Tamayo can develop his other side of his game, because his offense and shooting, I think that's his strength. But the other side of his game is still pretty lacking. Yun lang.
Any final notes, Maui? Bago tayo manood ng Alex Ayala.
Okay, come
Shout out,
on.
good.
I think she lost her first set. Alex,
Yun
let's
nga.
go!
Let's go, Alex.
Laban Pilipinas! Puso! Joke.
Oo, para naman hindi tatlong talo today. Tatlong blowouts today. I think that's it for today's episode. I know a ton of people are watching Alex Ayala. We're raring to watch Alex Ayala. One final comment from our listener, si Michael. Boat ride stretch for, we'll see. We'll see. I think yung naturalization niya is in progress. That's it for today's episode. Stay tuned for more. We'll talk more Filoil, UAAP basketball. Let's see kung meron pang breaking news sa NBA. Teka, quick check lang sa NBA. Wala namang bagong
Kasi
rumors.
Lebron.
Okay, sige.
Wala, si Quick
Si
Hit Post
Lebron
lang.
lang naman yung hinihintay natin eh. Lebron, come on.
Come on, LeBron. We need good news. Yeah, that's it for today's episode. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Go Alex Ayala. Good luck.